I would like to double click. Maybe we should have done it during the AI conversation, but start with you, Steve. I would really like to understand how you're using data, because that's one of the things about technology companies is your ability, because you cross so many different surfaces, your ability to ingest data and then give us a insight into our businesses. And how I'm thinking about it with you, Steve, is I came to you and I said, we've been underwriting homes or underwriting applications the exact same way for maybe 100 years, right? Or maybe it's 50 years since the credit score came out, whenever that was. And so my question to you are we really writing it the right way, because we're just doing it the way we've always done it? So I'd be curious, and it doesn't have to be that, but, or maybe you want to double click on that, but I'd be curious around how your technology companies are using data to help us make better decisions.
Yeah, I think it does actually tie really nicely into the AI conversation, because it's a similar question, right? How do you effectively use data? How do you effectively use AI? Both of these things, we can sit here and we could talk about the impact of them, but unless you have a clear implementation path, it's pretty hard for anybody who doesn't have the resources to go pay very expensive ML, AI, or data engineers to implement any of these things in a meaningful manner. I'll tackle this from the data perspective first. I think Evernest is a really good case study for us insofar as you guys never wanted to just stick with what you've done, right? You didn't come to us and say, all right, we've been underwriting applications the same way for as long as the company has been in existence, and we're incredibly precious about this process. So we want you to build us something that helps us underwrite applications in exactly the same way. You guys were always willing to look and to listen at the data that showed, hey, is that the right way to be doing it? So as a technology provider, I think one of the things that is just table stakes for us is, are we setting up our data in a manner that can be easily accessed and easily educational for our customers? What we have to understand is you guys are the ones that are on the ground. You guys are the ones that have the domain expertise, but it is us that have the responsibility to set up data and AI in a way that you can look at it and say, okay, can someone explain to me, like I'm a fifth grader, what this actually means for my business and how I should be looking at this problem set? If we look at things as basic as your income requirements, right? We had this conversation 2 years ago when we first onboarded you guys. You said, look, we use 3x gross income to rent. And my question to you, Matthew, was, why do you do that? And your answer was, that's the industry standard, right? And we said, okay, what if we could show you data that said that was not the right metric to be looking at? What if we could show you that based on performance, that we could identify a better metric to drive higher occupancy, lower cycle times, etc., right? And of course, we could do that because we'd set it up in a manner where you guys could access it. We could prove our work there, and we could have that conversation, which wasn't, hey, I'm right, you're wrong. I know better than you do. It's just, hey, look, we've set this up so we can regression test it. But doing those things, it's incredibly challenging. And in the day-to-day business, it shouldn't be everyone's job to be looking at that. So I think it's a consultative approach in, okay, what are the key questions that you want to answer, to Matthew Kaddatz's point? And can we as technology providers help you answer those questions? If we're not structuring our data in a manner that is accessible and understandable to you guys, I think we've fundamentally failed our, one of the things that we like to do, and how to set up data structures and what proper data cleanliness looks like. I think that's a conversation that we could probably spend the next hour talking about. But one of the things that we try and do is we try and set up everything so that it can be ingested by our customers. And I think it's one of our critical sales pitches, which is to say, hey, if you have a question that you want us to help answer, we can do that. We can use data to do that, because as technology providers, that's part of our ethos, but it's your data, right? It's the Evernest data that we're trying to optimize and help you think about. So it's a partnership, and I think it takes a certain level of open-mindedness to get the most out of that.